Birdemic from 2000. What was it? 10.
Apparently.
Okay.
Filmed on a potato.
Birdemic from 2010. Oh, this movie. I love it. This is one of my favorite bad movies. Jim is shaking his head.
Yeah, I hated it. Quality-wise, it was like shit from a butt for me.
That's what makes it great.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of bad films before, like The Room or Manos: The Hands of Fate.
No, you have.
To me, this had none of the charm of either of those
Are
movies.
you serious? You're saying Manos has charm?
Yes. Yeah, when I see the big centaur dude with the enormous knees that are the size of his head, like, I can't help but laugh at that.
Torgo?
But, yeah, Torgo. Lovely Torgo. Yeah.
I know the theme song of Torgo.
Yeah, or even just the way that they screwed up all the audio in the movie, so they had to re-record everything in post and just kind of hope that the lip syncing lined up.
In Manos?
Yeah.
His camera only filmed 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, or like they clearly couldn't get. There's a couple of like kids in that movie that they couldn't get back, and you can tell that they've been dubbed over by adults, and their voices sound ridiculous because it's
the
like
two kids making out.
It looks like it's getting dark outside.
Yeah.
Like boy, what a convincing child voice. I'm not questioning this at all.
Oh, Debbie?
That to me is hilarious, and this film, even though it's extremely inept, it feels oddly insulting towards the audience's time and intelligence. And I think that a big part of that is
No. You're okay. This is where we're gonna differ because I don't.
Clearly.
I think he was. I think he was trying.
I think he was trying very hard. That's not the problem at all. It's just that he's horribly inept.
He's not a director.
I mean, clearly. Well,
That's what makes it great.
What director is a director when it's their first time directing?
Spielberg.
This isn't his first time directing.
That wasn't his first time directing. Oh my god! It gets worse. I didn't think this was possible.
He did Julian Jack, the one.
Oh no.
About the cloning with the G-wine.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My life is in shambles.
I can't remember the name of that one.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I knew that it was obviously a love letter to the birds. I mean, there's no denying that. Alfredo Hitchcockman.
So you've seen
his
The
film,
Birds.
The Bird. Yes.
So in Julian Jack, he got Tippi Hedren to have a cameo.
Yeah, so actually that's where I was going to go with this. As part of my preparation for this film, I not only watched The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock so that I would know what exactly to compare this to, and that was the movie that I finished right before we came over here, hence why we were late. Not only did I do that, I also read the original short story The Birds by Daphne du Maurier, which I think is from French, because I don't know how to pronounce it correctly.
Du Maurier sounds about
So I did all of that as prep so that I could have some context for what this thing is.
I'm impressed.
And how hard... Thank you. And to get an idea of how far this concept has fallen across time. Because I figured probably what it would be, usually the written story is better than the film adaptation, and usually the film is better than the remake, so I wanted to get an idea of how far this thing has fallen across time. And I have to say, the original short story is really good. The film is very good in its own way. The fact that it didn't really directly try to copy things.
Well, Hitchcock is just really good.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he
Probably
he knew if it's exactly the same, then people are just going to be comparing them one to one, and then if the film falls behind even
you also
slightly,
have to think this is not the first killer bird movie since Hitchcock.
It's not.
No.
Yeah, no. What other bird movies have there been?
What was the
Zombie
other?
5?
Zombie 5? I don't even know Zombies 1 through 4.
Oh, okay. And the alternate name, I think, is The Killer Birds
as
or
in
something
zombie,
like that. It's an Italian-made...
Yeah,
the original is called Zombie.
Was it made for like $60 or something?
Well, the original was Zombie 2, ZOMBY 2.
And then they made a bunch of...
I think it was Argento?
Yeah, and then they made a bunch of spin-off.
I mean, Dario Argento's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
This one was not Argento.
Oh, this is...
They just gave it to an Italian director and it was like...
With the same last name or something?
No. And there's one called Beaks that is also Italian.
Beaks.
From the early 80s.
Interesting.
No,
it's not something that hasn't been done since Hitchcock. It's just...
It does seem to be getting worse.
It does. Okay, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But no. So fun fact, real quick about the zombie original Zombie 2. The reason why it was called that they did with Argento was actually because Night of the Living Dead was originally released in Italy as Zombie.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people know that, but for our younger viewers, why the fuck are you watching this?
Yeah, and for me, because I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Younger viewers are not going to be watching this.
Yeah.
Younger viewers don't watch these
All-
kinds of movies.
All of our fans are ages 69 and up. Right on.
No, I can tell you the demographic. It's 25 and up.
Oh, word.
Yeah, because like me, I'm bored of the AAA movies. I know what's going to happen, but in independent movies, you don't know what's going to happen. A director just, now let's do this instead. It's something way off the wall.
That's
That,
why
I mean, the general principle of that holds true, but I don't think it applies in this case because this film feels extremely formulaic,
It's two
even though it's only
movies.
ripping off like one movie.
This movie is 2 movies.
How? What is the
So
second
45 minutes in, it's a love story.
one? Yes.
And he's
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
a girl. They have, and then
out of nowhere, birds attack.
and out of nowhere, birds attack. Then we go into a bird attack movie.
Yeah.
So that reminds me of both the birds, the film, and then the original story. That was something that really bothered me about this movie because I actually don't think that anything really scary happens. Not even anything tense, like atmospherically tense or anything like that, happens until maybe the 1 hour mark when all the shit hits the fan completely out of
In
nowhere.
this movie, right?
Yes, in
Okay,
Birdemic.
yeah, I agree.
Whereas in the birds,
It did take a while.
a little bit, but I mean, the characters are pretty interesting, so you feel patient enough that honestly, after a while, I kind of didn't even really care if the birds showed up or not, because I cared enough about the characters, I didn't mind just seeing where the story went at that point. But the first bird attack happens in the birds at the 25-minute mark, and then when you read the original short story by Daphne du Maurier, the first bird attack happens, I think, within the first 3 pages. So it happens earliest in the original story. It happens a little bit later in the first film adaptation. Then the third one, it takes the longest to get to. And the most punishing aspect of it is that it's really not worth the wait. That first hour isn't entertaining on its own merit, and then when it finally does happen, it doesn't live up to the 1 hour of suspense or the 1 hour of waiting. I wouldn't.
That's
call it
the point.
suspense.
That's why I like it.
first-
It's bad CGI.
It's horrible.
Like,
It's like clip art.
It's clip art. It's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. That's what makes it so much fun.
The first hour.
And they're swinging their coat hangers. Yeah, and it's the same sound effect every time.
Those terrible guns that were like clearly fake. The fact they didn't even bother to edit the traffic that was going out when there's supposedly like a birdemic going
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Right, and
There's
they're
supposed to be
going-
an apocalypse,
traffic's
and then
going
traffic's
both
going
ways.
totally
And-
fine. It's not just that there's still cars; it's that nobody's rushing or anything like that. It's very organized.
I have a question about Rod.
Stuart?
No. The guy that Natalie and
Natalie Portman?
Natalie and
M16
Rod
man?
hook up with Ramses.
Oh, Ramsey.
The Marine guy.
Yeah.
Ramses.
Why did
Ramsey.
he have a really old Astro van full of AK-47s or whatever he had, ARs?
apparently-
I think he was a
Infinite
nutty
ammo?
conspiracy man. You know,
He was prepped.
I know that there was already a
He
character in the
was-
movie that lived in a tree and was clearly batshit crazy, but
Whoa,
I think
no.
Ramsey was too.
I hear a mountain lion.
You
I
know?
got a gun. He just
Yeah.
runs off.
See ya. Bye, everybody.
They had a very brief moment where they alluded
love this
to
movie.
that Ramses, whatever, Ramrod
Pharaoh Ramsey.
Ramrod, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Ramrod. Team
was
Ramrod.
ex-military.
But yeah,
So-
and well, I mean that would explain the M16 because I guess he was in Nam.
Yes, he was in.
Yeah, he's like
out
25.
of nowhere. Like they sit there and Rod and Ram are talking about and I think Rod is all like, "Yo, Ram, why'd you quit the military or something like that?"
I'm just so sick of the wars in Iraq, man.
Yeah, it's almost like war is bad or something, and so is like the climate or whatever.
So James Nguyen was pushing his whatever agenda he had.
I
had
think that he has a problem with pollution or something.
environmentalism.
Yeah, he's got like a boner for the earth. Or
Yeah.
something.
Global warming is
Yeah.
mentioned.
Earth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he
Al
seems
Gore.
to think that it's bad.
And then the war thing.
Yeah,
So
he
it was
also thinks that war is
2011, yeah.
bad. That's a very bold take.
Oh yeah, he's really going out on a limb.
All I'm learning from this is that birds are bad.
Yeah, birds are bad. War is arguably bad. The environment might be bad too. No one knows for sure.
People are dumb,
Whatever.
and children want
Right on.
fucking Happy Meals.
I've seen
Yeah.
this enough that when my wife walks by me playing games and I have a movie on, she's like, "Oh, you're watching the Bird movie again."
Yeah, she's
yep.
like, "Oh, you're watching that stupid bird movie," and then she started hitting you over the head with a coat hanger. She's like, "Shame on you, bringing that filth into this house."
Yeah, pretty much. There are sequels. I've seen the sequels, not nearly as good, because he tried to capture the magic that this one had.
Well, he thought that he was in the know, and he's not in the know.
right.
He don't know shit.
The third one,
He don't know Jack.
the second one drops way down. Third one starts rising up. Okay,
No.
He went
Rising
back
up
to what he
like
was.
a sea eagle.
Right, but it's not quite what this is. It's
That was
like
the name of the
Samurai
film.
Cop. Have you ever seen that?
Not yet.
Okay, Samurai Cop, the first one has that magic of
Yeah.
it's a bad movie and it's funny.
Yeah.
They tried it with the second one. Even starred Tommy Wiseau. He's in it.
Oh,
Didn't have it because they knew what they were trying to do.
Yeah, sometimes too much self-awareness can actually
Exactly.
be a bad thing.
That's
See,
what-
for
yeah.
example, all those philosophers that killed themselves.
Oh, okay.
is Wiseau one of those people like he's just so bad? he's
Oh my
good?
god, Wiseau means bird in French.
Does it?
It does!
Oh, I don't know French.
Mind blown.
Je ne parle pas français.
He was
Oh,
in Samurai
was.
Cop. though. He wasn't in these movies.
That's amazing.
What else you got about this movie?
You know, another thing that pissed me off actually about this movie was the fact that all of the birds are clearly just the same bird. It's not just that it's the same
the same
species.
two.
That's what makes it good.
It's the same asset replayed over and over.
That's what makes
Whereas
it great.
this is actually a plot point in the original story, the original written story, and in the original film.
They
is
use
that-
two different kinds of bird CGI.
Well,
3 if you want to include the parrots in the park.
Were there seagulls and then like a darker bird, like eagles or something,
I think they're supposed to be
or was it
vultures.
just straight eagles?
I feel like there were seagulls at the very end, and then I think
Flying
like
off
every
into the
other
sunset.
scene was just like bald eagles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's 2 birds. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we technically have 2.
Plus the
But
parrots in the park.
one thing that, that
Actually,
there's actually, but there's an ornithologist character in The Birds in the Hitchcock adaptation who even points out that it doesn't make sense for birds of different species to be flocking together. It's completely contrary to their entire nature, and that's part of the
pecking
horror
order.
is that they're behaving in this way that is completely unnatural. And even though in Birdemic we still have birds assailing human beings, which is unnatural, we don't have that completely overarching defiance of nature that we get from the different species working together. Or, for that matter, in the original story, the first birds that assail the main character are all, I think they're like finches or something. Like they're very small birds. They're not predatory, and the thing that makes them so frightening is just the fact that he's being attacked by animals that aren't even predatory in the first place. And the only thing that makes them dangerous is the fact that they show up in extraordinarily large numbers. He fights off a bunch of them, and when they're all dead, he's like, looking at how many little bird corpses are scattered around the room, and I think he says there's like 50 of them, which is a hell of a lot, and you don't get that kind of stark reality-bending horror when it's just the same bird asset placed 6 times around the screen.
I would like to point out that this movie that Birdemic does have an what is it? Ornithologist?
Ornithologist.
Ornithologist.
That thing.
Remember that guy?
Oh,
Whoa, hold on, stay back.
Is that the guy on the bridge?
Yeah, and they keep walking forward.
Okay,
Stand
well
back,
then,
and then he
well,
joins
he's a
them and
worse
takes his map.
ornithologist than the lady in the Hitchcock film,
And-
because
and-
I didn't even remember his profession.
Then
That means that he sucks.
He says something to the effect of like, well, I don't know why we can blame the blackbirds. Nobody said anything about blackbirds.
Because racism, that's why.
Yeah.
It's bad when birds do it. And
Actually,
it's bad when
okay,
people
so
do
with
it.
all the agendas that James
Yeah.
Nguyen pushes, I
Yeah.
kind of wonder if he specifically put that in to try to push some sort of racism thing.
Probably. I mean, that sounds like something that he would do.
Was there even a black character in this film?
Not that.
Actually,
I can
yeah,
recall.
the singer.
There was?
Hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out.
He's like the one talented person in the entire movie.
he's-
He actually does have a good singing
He
voice.
does a bunch of James
Yeah.
Nguyen movies, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That poor soul.
And then there's like the 2 white people dancing terribly.
I
Not all white people dance bad.
Most of them.
I do,
Yeah. Well,
For
yeah.
example, David.
but it's fun.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
just having fun. I don't care if I'm bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that matter, actually, I do want to point out that one of the only things that I
One out of
liked
3
in this
white
movie
people
that
can dance.
that I thought was good was actually that shot when they go to speak to the ornithologist when he's like standing on that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it's basically just nothing but nature all the way across the screen, and then you have that bridge just kind of diagonally bisecting the shot. Looked very cold and detached. So
And I bet
that
you
one
he
shot I
meant to
actually
do it.
liked. Do what?
I bet you he meant to do it.
Meant to do what?
That shot. To make it how you're...
To give it that effect?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like that was a happy accident because that man doesn't know anything about
it totally was.
cinematography.
It was,
Like
it was a happy
Yeah,
accident.
like the constantly violating the 30-degree rule by not changing the position of the camera sufficiently in between shots. I remember there being like a couple like weird Dutch angles that I think were meant to emulate this one shot in The Birds when Rod Taylor is trying to treat the wound on Tippi Hedren's head. Tippy.
Rod Tippy.
Yeah, Rod Tippy. Pleased to meet you. But
Tippi Hedren was in one of those episodes we did that when we were doing episodes. The witch episode of Haunting Hour.
And I saw her name in the
Nightmare.
I saw her name in the credits
Nightmare.
for Birdemic, but I don't think I saw her in the movie.
So it was him she got cut.
Maybe.
Or he's giving credit to her or something.
Oh yeah, paying tribute, an homage.
If she did get cut from it, that would be a blessing. That's mercy.
Mercy to Hippie.
Oh, she's
Mercy
done.
to Hippie.
She did a James
Tippy.
Nguyen movie.
Oh.
So
That poor woman.
yeah, and
Alfred Hitchcock destroyed
and
her
he
career.
Oh, he did.
So he does a
Alfred
lot of
Hitchcock
filming.
may be
That
a great
house,
director, but he's a bastard. Was a bastard.
Rod's house that he put solar panels on,
Rod house.
is James Nguyen's house.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he has a pet bird.
We can dox James Nguyen.
His other films have his pet bird
No.
that eats birdseed in there, and you can hear the bird just randomly through the scenes. It's so great.
I've kind of wondered if the main character Rod was named after Rod
Rodney
Taylor.
Carrington.
I'm sure.
I just I have to imagine. You bastard! You thought you were being clever.
You know,
But I mean that sums up Birdemic in general. Just you bastard! You thought you were being clever. That's the entire movie. He thinks that he's so smart, and he's
it's
not.
a guy who became a millionaire in the 90s off of software. And he's like, I got a ton of money. I want to make movies. Hey, I got money.
Well,
oh,
I'll
you
make a
kind of
movie.
like
I'll make multiple movies.
you can tell that he loves the birds. I mean, that part is sincere. I don't
Obvious.
doubt his sincerity at all. I just doubt his ability to execute anything.
I get it. I
like-
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I liked that the birds exploded on contact with things like they were suicide bombing.
Yeah, and they blew up.
And
That was so
An
stupid. I love it.
explosion. I
yeah,
love it.
and it creates that weird like V2 bomber sound as they're coming down.
Yeah, no.
Just want to say that was terrible,
That's
but
what
in a good
combustible
way.
bird lemons.
These are the kind of...
They must have ate a bunch of rice.
Welcome to my world, Jim.
How do you live like this?
These are the bad movies I like.
This was fun.
The more absurd it is, the better to me.
And I think that was all meant to be riffing on a scene late in The Birds where there is a massive like gas station fire caused by a bird, but it only happens one time and it actually makes sense in context, and it's seemingly some kind of bizarre accident because I mean how is a bird going to figure out what a gas pump is? But then when you show them directly kamikazing into a gas pump, it's like what.
Not just the gas pump. Oh, dang.
I can't make any sense of this. These birds don't make sense.
These birds have no logic.
And they're not even
They aren't adhering to bird law.
yeah, and they're not even unnatural in the sense of how they're handled in the Hitchcock movie. They're just unnatural in the sense of incredibly bad writing. That brings me to another thing too, which is that in the original story of The Birds and in the film adaptation of The Birds, it's never explained why exactly the birds are doing this. It's even pointed out that it's completely at odds with the entire natural order. It's
Oh, they're
completely
doing it
at
because
odds
of
with their
bird
behavior. What?
Yeah,
Bird
they're doing it
flu.
because of
Yeah,
bird
so
flu.
that's
Birdemic.
yeah, that's the thing, and I think it really weakens the plot by explaining why they're doing it. It takes away
I
from
get
that
what
like
you're saying.
unearthly.
But then he
like,
wouldn't get his
Lovecraftian
agenda
horror.
across.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that he needed to because the original film was so much better because it just seemed so senseless. And then actually just explaining it and saying, climate bad, humans bad,
So
birds, don't pollute and shit.
I'm taking it you don't like this movie.
I've been dropping hints subtly
The
along
other
the way,
movie-
like bird droppings.
The other movie I was thinking of for James Nguyen was Replica. That's the clone movie. And then Julie and Jack, which is just a love story. It has to do with AI, though. Like having a consciousness go into a
Oh.
computer.
Is it like a dumb version of her or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, okay.
Oh, no. It was a living girl.
Yeah.
And then she died and goes into her computer and he falls in love with her.
So like her meets
Yeah, just
what's
put her
that
on the
one
little
where
CD-ROM
the guy has that friend who murders a lady with a basketball?
Basketball. He murders her with a basketball.
Oh yeah,
What?
like he implants like best friend or something like that. I don't know.
You're thinking of Joaquin Phoenix.
No, there was her, and then there was that other movie where, like, this
Him?
girl. Yes, totally. No, this girl or someone
Hey.
like throws a basketball so hard it makes this person's head explode.
I mean, I've seen that happen in real life, but I've never seen that in a movie.
Wait, them is a movie.
Them!
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, with the giant ants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
Oh.
definitely be better than this movie.
We're thinking.
I
of-
like them. That's a good movie.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of the other them, the French one, originally titled Eels.
Eels?
Eels, yeah, with the also which translates to them, where the couple gets attacked by a bunch of.
Oh yeah,
children.
it's what The Strangers basically is.
Yeah.
It's the it was made in France, I believe, and then suddenly
French.
Strangers came out like a year or two later. Huh?
With Mr. Speedboat.
Yeah, it's the French version of Strangers. They did it before Strangers.
Oof.
Oh, and them was fantastic. The Eels. We just went on a total tangent here.
Yeah.
A wee bit.
All right.
Bird
By the
movie is
way-
bad.
Why didn't you wear your
I love
bird
it.
law shirt?
Wait, what?
Why didn't you wear your bird law shirt? That would have been perfect.
You know why I didn't wear my bird law shirt? Because I didn't think of it.
He's a proud Nickelback fan.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Fan or liar.
Or liar.
Yeah.
You know what grinds my gears? There was no flock of seagulls in this.
No,
Oh,
no, no, no.
yeah. And I ran so
Yeah.
far away.
And even though they were along the avenue. Yeah.
But it's called Shock and Terror.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Well, and there wasn't any shock or terror either.
yeah, the whole thing sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there were birds.
The peanut gallery, all.
Actually, I mean, there kind of weren't birds considering. I mean, it was all just like clip art CGI birds.
Yeah.
And that gets rid of all the
you
terror
get
of the
more-
physicality of the birds that you see like in Hitchcock's movie. Like it's tense seeing all the actors in the room with actual physical birds realizing that they might get injured at any given point. You're not just fretting for
Poor
the characters. You're also fretting for the actors and actually even the birds themselves because it's not like you want the birds to get injured unless you're some kind of weird bird sadist.
Well, I mean, yeah. If a bird, I'd feel bad. Like just saying hypothetically,
I
I'm
would
in a
feel
room
bad.
and a bird comes charging at me. I'd freak
Yeah.
out, punch it, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, poor
Yeah,
bird!"
poor little birdie.
And then
Yeah.
it might scare me again, and I
Yeah.
kick it, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah, like
I
you
feel bad again."
You feel scared for everybody. It hits you in all directions. You're scared for the birds. You're scared for the actors. You're scared for the characters. And then
maybe even the cameraman.
in Birdemic, you don't care. Why would you?
There's
You
no
know?
real.
It's like go ahead, get mauled. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Jim
know?
pro mauling by bird.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind.
So I like this movie. I figured the more absurd, the better. That's when I'm in low budget movies. That's how I view movies.
I mean, absurd
you
is
did,
great, but this
like-
was boring.
oh.
Like,
That's kind of the point.
This is fun.
It's so bad. It's good.
I don't know. I thought it was so bad it was bad. I thought it was so bad that it sucked.
This is
Jim, we have been like this for
Yeah.
a week.
You're like, don't cross me. I'll sick the birds on you.
This is fun because like as someone the in the middle, but no, like with the greasy strangler, like you were, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's like your
That's
style.
true.
Yeah, we're
And
passing
well,
each other like ships in the night.
Yeah,
and-
okay.
but when it comes to like
Birds in the night.
I was nice to
high
Greasy Strangler.
concept,
So-
independent, I guess high concept independent films is more your speed. Where David here is like, no, let's just let's make it as bad as possible.
Well, I mean, I like so bad it's good because of how bad it is. But this one is so bad that it is bad, and therefore not good, and therefore I don't like it.
Okay. I just watched a movie that was on a $500 budget.
Yeah, well, I
500?
just watched a movie that was on a $499 budget.
It might have been. Actually.
Not to one down you or anything, but
You always got to be right.
Daddy and Daddy are fighting again.
What do you give it out of 1 through 10? What would you give this?
How many birds?
this is my honest opinion. I'm telling the truth, and I'm not lying.
This is gonna hurt.
I cannot
would-
tell a lie.
I would give this one 2 bags of bird seed.
Oh, that's more than I thought you'd do.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I do believe that it was a sincere effort. I just think that James Nguyen is really bad at everything. So because it's sincere, I'm willing to give him that. I think it's a genuine love letter to the birds, written and directed by a dumb man who doesn't know anything about birds or movies
Okay.
or directing or writing. So,
You got Garrett rolling. So.
yeah, rolling and trolling.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it 2 big bags of bird seed.
Okay.
There.
Well, I'm gonna let Garrett compose himself.
Yeah, decompose yourself.
I've seen this movie minimum 20 times, if not, probably way more.
I've seen it.
How many times do you think I've seen this? Too many times. This is an 8.5 for me. It's blowing them away. I love this movie. So, and that's just the way. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I like that it's this bad.
Well, I'm not trying to convert you over to the dark side or anything, but I just hated this one.
Now let's see what Garrett says. He's the middleman. We got the lowest. I'm probably the highest. I guarantee I'm the highest.
I will give this movie 6.5 bags of birdseed because
6.5, Jim.
You know what? Like the charm of this film, one of the biggest charms of this film for me, is it's not necessarily the watching of the film itself. It is the experience of watching it with friends because
it is one of those movies.
Yeah, you sit down, you watch it, you enjoy it, and the comments that come out, and just like it builds camaraderie. Yeah.
In terms of it being like a good party movie, it's probably like an 8 out of 10, if not higher. Specifically on that metric, but I'm just going off of the actual quality of the movie itself.
See, I factoring in both sides. I'd say 6.5 because I mean it is fun with people. I mean, for like the first hour when Jim kept going on about how the guy was just hunting for a crumb of puss.
If you had to watch this movie alone, like in a dark dungeon...
Hold on a second. So she was made the top model for Victoria's Secret.
Her feet were dirty.
I've decided with Jim on that one.
Yeah, her feet were disgusting. They were gross. She needed to wash her damn feet. Get Quentin Tarantino in here.
So
he do it with his
the
mouth.
company he worked for with the stock options sold for $1 billion. So this guy's a multi-hundred millionaire.
Yeah.
And she's the United States' top model for Victoria's Secret, and they stay in a Motel 6.
This is a fantasy film. This is how James Nguyen thinks that reality works, and it's like watching a 10-year-old emulate adult stuff by putting on a little necktie and saying, "I'm going to work at the business factory."
This is why I like it.
Yes.
Ugh. What are you guessing to?
What Jim just said.
No.
It's like how a child would picture adult life.
Yeah.
And it's like a fantasy of like when you meet a babe on the street, what you wish would happen, but never would actually happen.
I kind of wonder. Okay, so.
Oh no, that's how I met you.
I actually keep my feet clean though.
I want to do this.
He does.
And if I end up cutting here, I end up cutting here. So James Nguyen is an immigrant from Vietnam.
Okay.
So I kind of wonder if this is the sort of thing he thought this was what America would be like.
And I mentioned that.
Oh.
So like the American dream, that sort of thing?
Because it does seem like there is like some type of disconnect. And I can see like a language
Right.
or
So
cultural
that's a foreign fantasy of America.
He just seems like a sad little man. Like he wants all of these wonderful things. He wants a big house and a beautiful electric car and a hot blonde bimbo and
James arch nemesis.
You know how
James.
Her real life name was like Whitney Morgan or something like that.
Yeah.
The Hollywood
Whitney M.
Walk of
Morgan.
Stars,
Yeah.
everyone fantasizes it, but then you actually get there and
It's a bunch of homeless people,
crap.
Yeah.
I know.
So
Yeah,
that's
bird
kind of
crap.
how this movie works too. Like he thinks it's going to be like that, but no.
This
can't
film
believe-
is the American dream.
I can't believe you missed the scene where the 4 people get dumped on by birds.
I didn't
thought they
notice the bird
vomited.
poo.
I think they get... Well, they don't specify.
So yeah.
So you can take it as either.
unspecified.
It's a little bit of both. It might be bird poo poo, bird pee pee, because birds, have cloacas.
Yeah, I was just about to go there. Okay.
Any chance I get to say the word
I was
cloaca?
I was waiting for that word to pop up. Okay.
Yeah.
The word of the day,
we
kids,
can probably
is
wrap it up.
cloaca. That means ass pussy.
Oh.
You're probably gonna have to censor that with some bird caws.
Yeah.
Just-
That means
everything comes out of that.
Anyways, well, let us know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and Nickelback fan or liar.
Yeah, let us know if you're a fan or a liar of this movie.
And as always, stay demented.